Hello. In order to perform functional tests on a system, given a set of requirements written in natural language, a tester will have to manually write a sequence of inputs to stimulate the code. The tester will also need to define the test oracle in the form of, for this sequence of inputs I expect this value for this output at this precise moment. With stimulus, however, you can automatically check that the code meets its specification and radically reduce this manual work. How does stimulus do this? Let's take some requirements describing the performance of a car's headlights that has the modes on, off and automatic. A test environment is created with a block diagram. First use case generating the input light intensity, which describes the ambient light intensity in which there is a scenario making light intensity oscillate between 75 and 55%. A second use case generating the position of the switch. In order to observe the system behaviour in the automatic mode, we freeze the position of the switch in auto mode with the force auto scenario that we select with a simple drag and drop. If we open this scenario, we see that the constraint is trivial. Switch is equal to auto. This block diagram is a test environment that allows you to debug the requirements. Once the requirements have been completed and debugged in stimulus, the code for the controller is created. Using stimulus, it is also possible to test the code and verify that it complies with the specification. Let's replace the requirements for the real controller. We drag and drop the DLL_controller object that contains the compiled code. This object could also be an FMU generated by Simulink, for example. We create a paragraph, let's call it specification. We drag and drop the requirements that the code must satisfy and we put them in observer mode. Let's test the code. Let's do 150 steps. The observer is green, the code seems to meet the requirements. Let's go further. We give stimulus more freedom with the use case stable some time, which changes the value of the switch every 3 seconds. Let's start the tests again. Let's do 150 steps. The observer has turned red. When does the code violate its specification? Let's add the observer to the plotter view. We see the moment when the code does not comply with its requirements, but which requirement has been violated? Let's open the observer. Here is the requirement that the code did not satisfy. At the moment of the error, we have the following situation. The headlights are off. The switch has just switched to auto. Light intensity is below 70%. However, according to the violated requirement, the code should turn the headlights on. Stimulus has found a functional error without the need for you to create a single test case. Stimulus allows you first to develop and validate the specification and then to automate the functional tests very effectively. Try stimulus.